So it's that time again. Oh my god, straight away I've been caught out by Dean. Dean, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in.
How are you doing, mate?
Oh,
Thank you very
I've
much.
got an echo. Let's turn that off. Well, at least I'm on time this evening. Welcome to. How are you doing, Dean? Thank you very much for coming in and keeping the show going while everyone's waiting for me. So we've got 7 people in the house. Let's see who else is here. How is everyone this evening? Somebody else is here. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in. Uh, Hamza, wa alaikum assalam warahmatullah. Tony, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Scope is here. How are you doing? Yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. What we've had a busy couple of days in the garden. So loads and loads of stuff to harvest, loads of stuff. Yeah, picking loads of fresh spuds out the garden. We picked a bowl full of runner beans today. Um, Planted some more kohlrabi, cabbages. Yeah, so uh, busy, busy, busy. Frank is here. Nick is here. How are you two both doing? Thank you very much for both coming in. How are you keeping? Tony, how are you feeling at the moment? Tony's not been well for a while, so let's hope he's feeling a bit better. So, how's things on the plot, Nick, at the moment? Getting there, mate. Hopefully, be back at some point this week. Nice one. Been at the plot, stripping it all out. How's it looking? How's it looking at the minute? With you having such a while away from it. Um, Hamza, we've got Tony O'Neill, so from Simplify Gardening, used to be known as UK Here We Grow. So the very famous Tony O'Neill, yeah. Uh, Leslie Hood is here. Leslie, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Joel, I hope I've said that right. Apologies if I've messed your name up, but thank you very much for coming in. Christina's here. How are you both doing? Christina, I saw pictures of your harvests on Facebook. Oh, you looks like you're having some beautiful crops there. Absolutely lovely. Um, Big EG, walaikum assalam. Big up from Birmingham, UK. One question: how could I make a cheap polytunnel? Um, a cheap polytunnel. Um, a lot of it. I mean, a lot of it can be recycled. So if you can if you if you don't mind skip diving, have a look around some skips because they're normally, especially when Yorkshire Water. Well, it's not going to be Yorkshire Water in Birmingham, but whenever your water company's doing work, they're always dumping, the PVC piping. So if you can get into any skips and find some PVC piping, you can get a lot of your framework for free, a lot of recycled timber to build your frames and your doors, and then all you're paying for really. Don't skimp on the plastic. Buy some decent quality um, plastic that's not going to yellow and it's UPVC tolerant. So not UP, it's UV tolerant. Sorry. So it's not going to go brittle in the sun and it's not going to disintegrate and fall apart. Don't skimp on that. But the frames and the plastic you can get for a lot of it, you can get quite a lot of it for free. So, but you just have to keep looking. Let's see. I'm falling behind in the chat already. Let's have a look. So I've been up for a couple of days, but it's too hot. Nick, it's only these last couple of days that's been quite nice for us. Before that, Um, yeah, it's not been brilliant, but this last week has been quite nice. It's starting to turn around. Hopefully, if it keeps like this, but we're predicted thunderstorms and rain again by middle of next week. So I don't know what's going on. Um, let's see, let's see. What's Tony saying? It was a total mess. Most of my stuff never made it into the garden. It's all still in pots. Ah, Tony, sorry about that, mate. Um, you help me understand how you get it how it looks now. Thank you. Um, we've got Drops Family Garden here. Thank you very much for coming in. Volume is low. Is anyone else? Does anyone else think the volume's low? I've been missing. I've been missing the past couple of weeks on the live. Sorry about that. Dean, not a problem at all. I understand that everyone has real life to deal with, and real life, I think, always comes first. So, yeah, real life always comes first. Volumes low. I'm gonna shuffle this camera about. Let me have a look if anything's blocking the mic. So if you, sorry about that. Um, I've been missing the past couple of weeks. I read that one. Yeah, real life always comes first, and that you've got to give that priority. Um, Frank, all good here, apart from the first courgette that appears to be some kind of giant tree. Frank, how many courgettes have you had at the moment? Jaden Sancho's here. Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. We've got 20 people in the house. 2 likes. If you don't mind, hit that like button for me, please, everyone. Um, wait, can I see his YouTube? Yeah, I can see the YouTube chat. Keep an eye out for water, gas pipes, scaffold pipes, and wood lengths, etc. I managed to buy my bits and my tunnel for a total of £85. See that Dean's got, yeah, Dean and Tony, they do quite a few videos on polytunnels and building them. Um, Dean, I think it was earlier on this year, he actually built a brand new polytunnel, so you can have a look at get an idea of what he's actually done. So that might help as well. Um, it's been it's been good, and it's not over yet. I'm hoping for big things from my sweet corn and parsnips. Thanks for noticing, Christina. I thought your basket of harvest yesterday looked absolutely spot on. It was beautiful. Weather has been mental. Tony, it has. I mean, it was only a couple of weeks ago we were still having gale force winds, and that's just mental for this time of year. Absolutely crazy. Going to be nice next weekend. Weather's nice for Dean. Are you sure? Because Thursday, Friday looks a bit iffy. You know, it's saying that it's going to be thunderstorms, so hopefully they'll blow themselves out by Saturday and Sunday. Because we've got something exciting happening on Sunday, and on and on Saturday we're off to a little family theme park. If anyone's ever heard of this theme park, so we've got some free tickets to this theme park. Wheelgate something or other near Nottingham. One of my cousins booked her family and her kids to go, and her kids are 17, 18, 19, so they're young adults, and they all went as a family, and they turned up at the gates, and this is the kind of theme park it is. They wouldn't let them in because they were all too old. So it's going to be funny when I rock up this weekend with my little lot. So yeah, it'll be quite interesting. Um, Jaden, you say my volume's a bit low. Um, it's quite volume check good. Okay, so Tony's saying it's low. So we've got quite a few people saying it's low. I'll try and speak up. I'll try and speak up a little bit and see if I can make it a little bit louder. So Jewel Live is in the Philippines and wants to know what is easy to get started. Fix my hat. What's wrong with my hat? It's all right. My hat's all right. So Have you thought about what kind of stuff do you like to grow, Joel? I was actually talking about one plant. When you're growing in a small space, it's good to use as much of that. Use your space cleverly. So if you can grow, use your height. So one of the things that I was talking to one person about yet today on Facebook was growing a plant called potol, um, or pointed gourds. Now they're gourds about finger size, so they're not massive, but the plant will grow really prolific and it'll grow really tall. So if you can give it some good supports, or if you can support it up the side of the house or something, then you can just let it go, and you only want a small, and it'll be fine in a small pot as long as you're feeding it. So something like that would be brilliant. Uh, Tell me what else you like to grow, and then there's quite a few people in here that can help out as well. Uh, Isabel is here. Everyone else, volume is too low. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what to do. I've just checked the phone. It picks up directly off my phone. So I've checked it. There's nothing blocking the sound. I'll try and speak up. So Tony's is made from scaffolding and timbers. Tony's such a great gardener. I really hope you bounce back soon. I'm really missing your videos. Mothin is doing a great job filling in though. No substitute for the man though, is there? There's no substitute for the real man. I've lost count, but my wife is already fed up with it. So Frank's getting flooded by courgettes at the minute. Weather is meant to be better by Friday next week. I hope so, Leslie. I really do. I really hope next weekend's gonna be quite nice. Um, Volume's okay now. Had to adjust mine. Okay, that's all right as long as we can get some sound. Sunshine Cooper's here. How are you doing? Long time no see. Hope you're keeping well. It's been a very long time. The beer gardens I look after need rain badly now. I'm back at work. Hopefully, Frank, by next weekend we should have. Sorry, middle of next week we should have some thunderstorms, and I hope that's real rain as well. Um, yeah, I hope we get some real rain. Do you know the proper stuff? Thanks. Won't be long till I get back in shape. Just gutted that this year has been a write off. It's a shame like that. I think not only when you put in a lot of effort to start off with, and then things come in that causes issues, Tony. I think, but when those issues are beyond your control, there's nothing you can do, mate. So heads up. We all look up to you, and yeah, you're gonna be back on top in no time at all. Get your winter garden planted. Um, no problems with the sound, mate. Must be the user's devices. Michael Stone doing great. Da, 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 da. Okay, quite everyone. Mike Pope is in the house. Mike, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. We all have great content in just in different ways. Candy Cruz is here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Please hit that like as you're coming in. Got 22 people, 9 likes. Let's balance that out a little bit. You know something? I left my tomato plants for 6 days because I had to stay in another house, and then suddenly when I came back, half of my tomato plants are yellow, and I got really scared. Help me. Um, Check if they've been watered okay. Um, Especially when you've been away for a while, the biggest issue is probably lack of water. So give them a water, give them a feed. Uh, Top dress the pots if they're in pots. Top dress them with compost, fresh compost, and that should hopefully perk them up again. Which region of the UK? Yeah, Frank, we're in Best Yorkshire, aren't we? So we've got there's two of us here from Best Yorkshire. I'm in Leeds, so quite north. Properly rain low. Leslie, we need proper rain. We need proper rain. Do you know the big fat stuff that really floods everything? Not that little weedy thin stuff. Uh, Nothing's guaranteed. We could get smacked by another plant. Sunshine, can you help me find my friend? She's in Pinelli in Slum. She wants to grow some easy stuff. I don't know growing season. There any advice? Huge help. Um, so Joel, what do you like eating? Tell me that, and then we'll see. And the thing is, with your climate, you could probably get away with growing most stuff like aubergines. You can grow them quite nice and tall in a slit. You know, they don't take massive amount of space as well. Especially if you take off any suckers, you can grow them quite tall. Tomatoes, you can grow them up canes and grow some leafy crops as well. Um, I'll be wait. Tony, what are you planning on sowing for winter? But I've got some plans for next year to ensure that one stuff can get watered. Okay. Jaden, not a problem at all. Um, that's what we're here for. Uh, Dan in South Leeds. What, you close the curtains? Could you close the curtains? Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm gonna get up because I need to get my glasses as well because I'm struggling to see the sign words. So let me just give you a second. Oh, it's gonna turn into a peep show now. Right, there's no. I haven't got a set of glasses upstairs, so I'm just gonna have to struggle with it. Da, 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 da. Leslie's laughing at me saying I'm quite north, but those guys are in the North Pole, so you've got to be careful. um, Noor Ali is here. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in. Iri is here. A warm greeting to you, everyone in the chat from New Zealand. Volume is perfect, and heavy rain, windy thunderstorms here. Oh, no way. What season are you going into at the moment? Are you about to go into spring right now? Free to laugh. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. No children co-host. I'm sure they'll be storming the live at some point. They normally rock up about now. So any minute now, I bet they'll come storming in. Those green beans, blue light lake pole beans are growing great here, even in the heat. Next year, I'm going to be part of my market garden items. Oh, nice! You're going to grow a market garden. Blue lake pole beans. That's an interesting variety. I've not heard of them before. Are they? Because you call runner beans pole beans, don't you? Now she's here as Candy. Okay, okay. The weedy rain is that my the weedy rain is that what my mother calls the fine drizzle that soaks? Laura, is that fine stuff that gets you wet? Exactly. Is that? Yeah, is that fine stuff that gets you wet, not the big fat stuff. We want the big fat stuff though. Um, so candy, oh yeah, I'm from the Philippines. Easy to plant vegetables. So yeah, you could try potol. That's a good one. Um, all types of gourds. All types of gourds will be absolutely brilliant.
Dad,
Gee,
why can't we be in the live
come and
stream?
say hello to everyone. You've got someone asking about you. Come on, show everyone your costume as well.
Well, let me just put my mask on.
Come on. So, free to laugh. You were asking about the children. I told you they'd rock up any minute now. Uh, they were going to get banned this week because they were messing about too much last week. So they were going to get into. I haven't got. Look at me. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come and sit down. Sit down. So who
I
about?
have to go do namaz.
Okay, you go do Noah's. It's okay. A Scotsman's once told me I lived in the south, and I was, and that was just.
Is it?
Yeah, of course.
I can't
Come here.
reach.
Go on. Proper north, just like the north before Scotland. Uh, this is my first year with the vegetable patch. What should I look at for over winter next year? Currently, have beans, tomatoes, brassicas. So if you've got lots of brassicas, Pak Choy is one that I'm growing. I'm doing successional sowings of Pak Choy every few weeks. Um, I'm planting more herbs like coriander. I'm planting. We planted so getting cabbages and stuff like that started from seeds a little bit late. But if you can get plug plants there, they'll be really good. But even if you can get some cabbages in the ground, you might have something for next spring. Kohlrabi is another good one. I'd keep planting kohlrabi up until the end of August. Not a problem. Come on, Jonah, come on, close that door. Come and say hello if you wanna come. You wanna come and say hello. Come on. You're all right. Come on. I said your mum said you're not allowed, but I said you're all right.
Can I just
So,
have a...
yeah, of course you can. Uh, yeah, you use runner beans. We use pole beans. Yeah, they've come in. Spider-Man came in and he's disappeared again. Uh, go
Hi!
go read go read namaz. Go on, go and read namaz. So
Hi.
carrots, kale, charred lettuce, mizuna, pak choy, bok choy, turnip, spring cabbage, spring onions, beetroot. Can you close that door for me, please, Steve?
Spider-Man.
Uh, it's Miles Morales. Who's Miles Morales? I don't understand who Miles Morales is. uh, Patricia, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. uh, Azmat Tamimi is here. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. Ray, have you changed your channel name again? Ray Gardening Quick Tips. How are you keeping? So, I think every week you're changing your channel name at the minute. By the time Monty reads this, he will have read more. Drop. I've missed your last comment, so I don't know. I think I've caught up to the end of the chat now. That's the costume the band's wearing. It's Miles Morales Spider-Man. That's what he keeps saying. But which film's he from? Which Spider-Man film's he in? And garlic and cauliflower for next spring, but it's too early right now. Um, I'm gonna give up on garlic this year. I think. Um, it's some. It's the only vegetable that we're self-sufficient in. We grow enough garlic to last the whole year, but we've had a bit of a disaster this year. We've discovered allium white rot in a couple of our beds, and it's caused us a huge. Yeah, it's really upsetting for me because my garlic. I had we harvested 60 kilos of garlic this year, and just a couple of days ago, I think it was on Friday, we had to bin about 10 kilos of garlic because it had rotted. Um, the garlic white rot, even though we we dried it, we hung it properly. It stayed on some of the bulb, and it had started rotting the bulb. Um, so I'm quite upset about that. How far? My grandson's more Star Wars than Spider Man. Patricia, they change every week, so it's one week it's Iron Man, one week it's Captain America, and at the moment Spider Man's the in thing. Yeah. Zaki's got Peter Parker. Okay. Grow the alliums in containers, make the garlic rotted off, but the elephant can still be picked though. Um, See, Tony, it's in two of my beds, but hopefully the other beds. I've started treatment already, for the garlic white rot. So we're using garlic juice to try and force the spores out, and I'll keep doing and we'll keep doing that a few times through up until the start of autumn. So not enough rotation. Isabel, I do rotate my crops quite a bit. The way, but the way that we one of the things a lot is quite a lot of interplanting. So garlic and onions pretty much go into every single one of my beds as a companion plant to pretty much everything else. It's the beds that are it's the main bed of garlic that are solely planted garlic in that's got the white rot, and one of the beds that I planted onions in, and the onions that I grew from seed have done really well. I'm really impressed with them. So they're a really good handful. Yeah, they're a really good handful. But the ones that I grew from sets, they were like tiddly little bits. Um, so yeah, the tiddly little bits, and yeah, I don't know if I brought in the allium white rock with these white with these sets. So I don't know what's happened here. I hope someone wants to know how big is your garden. So my house from the plot that we're on a corner plot, and from our front gate to our from our front fence to our back fence, it's 50 meters long. Uh, uh, and it's a bit of a funny shape. Our garden, it's like an L shape. At the bottom, it's about 20 meters wide. At the top, it's about 10 meters wide. So it's a bit of a weird shape. I'm going to try and keep my garden going over into winter for the first time. Christina, have you got a greenhouse? Kyle is just obsessed with Minecraft. You guys like Minecraft, don't you?
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought you did. I knew that name. Uh,
Wait, you say Dean's coming on next?
just see, that's what you're not supposed to be. That's why you were going to get banned from the live stream
Why?
because you talk too much. Yeah, see, shush.
Why?
Okay, because you're supposed to shush. Okay, go and come here. Yes, yes, yes. Crop rotation is not required. It's a myth brought about to keep gardeners' hands busy when we're intensively gardening for feeding the country. See, I've read a couple of things recently that people are saying crop rotation is not required, but I'm still of the opinion where if you're growing heavily in certain crops in certain areas, so like when I just grow garlic in one bed, I will move them about. And one of the good things about say that if you follow certain crops with certain other crops, it can actually benefit the soil. So if you grow brassicas, for example, and then you sow garlic after the brassicas, garlic releases a chemical into the soil that'll compensate for things like club root. So some crop rotation is good, but it has to be the right crop. Crack. uh, we've nabbed some of our neighbour's garden to grow sweet corn. Put some clothes on and then you can come and say hello.
Hello.
um,
I need someone to first.
Patricia, she's absolutely fantastic.
Stop talking first.
You want me to stop talking? Why do you want me to stop talking?
He wants to talk first.
Stop talking.
Would you mean your plot is about point three? Yeah, it's about a third
Talking,
the,
Dad.
the whole plot.
Stop, Dad.
Wait,
The whole.
Stop,
I
Dad.
can't. I'm not allowed.
don't scream.
I'm
Then I'm
not.
gonna take
I'm
you
not
down.
allowed to talk. I'm not allowed to talk.
Stop screaming, Dad.
Where's it gone? Would that mean your plot is about 0.37
minutes.
acres?
I need to.
2 minutes.
Come on then.
He left a mess.
Let's say hello to everyone.
Hello.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Uh, drop. Yeah, it's about a third of an acre, including the house.
That's here.
So my compost is not getting hot. Have you mixed in the right ingredients properly? That's the that's the that,
Give me my green. Stand to me, compost.
No.
Green.
the first thing to check is to check that you've got the right mix of
Zaki. Zaki.
greens, greens and browns. And then once you've done that, make sure that you've watered it and it's because moisture is a really key ingredient for keeping it ingredient for keep getting it to warm up. So check those three things first. I tried ginger, soaked some, seemed to work great as I have 3 pots going. Haven't tried it before, but thanks for the tip. Asim Vine, you're very welcome. You're very welcome indeed. Consider a polytunnel a move, mate. It's about building the soil life. If the soil is right, that will deal with any pathogen. It's when you pour chemicals and. Tony, I agree with you. I do agree with you. See,
Tony King.
no, Tony O'Neill.
What's Tony
I
King?
do it. Who's Tony King?
And Robin, who had
Terry King.
Oh, Terry. Dog is here.
Yeah,
I know Tony King.
I do agree with you, but I do still
Hi,
think
Iron Man.
I still do think crop rotation
You should
in
have
some
mentioned
ways
your real
does
name and
have
face
a
in the
role to
movie.
play in all of that.
Hello.
Where you grow in a forest, see, it's the difference between a forest and growing pasture, because where you're growing on a forest, when you're growing in a forest type of system, yeah, the way it's going to work is not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same as a pasture type system. I'm, I'm not being allowed to speak at all. He's taken over. He's taken over. I'm not even sure what's going on. I'm not even sure what's going on. So Tim, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. Everyone's saying hello to you. Say hello.
Hello.
Subban Shakir is here. Walaikum assalam. Would you please explain the difference between soil amendments versus fertilizers? I see. Is that there's a massive overlap between all that, right?
Have you been the mask?
Yeah, she is. Let her stay. This one needs to go. There you go. See, there's a massive overlap between amendments and fertilizers. Because what you're probably thinking of is something that is going to improve the structure of the soil. If you're gonna go for that type of thing, then any sort of organic matter, compost, my personal favorite is manure. From large animals, so cows, horses, those kind of thing. Manure from that kind of stuff. I don't think there's anything that improves soil as good as that. Um, Wood chips, leaves, all that sort of stuff. That'll slowly build your soil. Fertilizer is something that you're going to use where it's going to give your plants a sudden boost. But if you read from people like Masanobu Fukuoka, then his opinion is compost is that something he doesn't like the use of compost. Now he's a massive influence. He was one of the founders of the no dig gardening. So if you read his perspective, he was completely against the use of compost, and he deemed compost as a fertilizer, whereas I'd think of compost as something that is a fertilizer, but also a massive soil amendment. So that's why there is a big grey area, big overlap between the two. It just kicked us. It just kicked. YouTube just kicked us out. It does this. Whenever we're on the roll and we're doing all right, it just decides to chuck us out and then bring us back in. Nitrogen, carbon, air, water. Get those right, and you're golden.
Can't we even do the music? Don't you even have longer arms?
29 minutes into the live stream and the revolt begins. I love watching the kids. So I'm planning a permaculture farm forest for self Would love to make it a community of like-minded people if possible. Whereabouts in the world are you? Tell us where you are, and if you're local, we might even come and say hello. Just want to see the kids.
Who's
Walaikum
this?
assalam wa rahmatullah. Quraysh, Mac, thank you very much for coming in.
Who's this?
Who's what? Oh, we've got Spider-Man back. See, they know who Miles Morales is.
Miles Morales is a black Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse or something.
Spider-Man is the Spider-Verse.
Okay,
I want
stop
Ghost
shaking me.
Spider.
Stop shaking me because I can't keep.
That's the white and pink one.
I understand that, mate, and there are
I
times
want
to
my head
rotate
on
if you have
there.
issues, but what I'm saying is get your soil right, and you should never need to.
I just put my butt on
My little one is. Asim's little one is saying hello back.
Who's Asim?
Need some suggestions. I'm new in gardening.
Asim
What
doesn't
do you,
have any kids. He's in my class.
no, it's not your classmate, Asim. Don't worry.
Why Asim there?
What do you like, Grace? What do you like growing? Tell us what kind of stuff that you like, and then we'll have a think about where you can go. Because it's getting quite late on in the season, so if you want to start thinking about planting your winter vegetables, that it'd be a good time now. This one needs to go. I was about to ask for absolutely. He wasn't letting me speak, man. What did you want me to do? Sufia's here. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in. Stop that. Okay. Well, you need to go. Dave, just don't pull it. Go to your mum because you're gonna ruin it. We've got mulching to do. Patricia, have fun mulching. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. I started no dig that year. I couldn't be bothered to dig. I'm going to be digging at the end of this year. It's time to give the whole plot a good dig over, especially because I brought in that weed killer into my garden. So hopefully, I'm gonna when as the plants are dying off, instead of just leaving it mulched over the winter, we're gonna dig everything and at least a couple of times during winter to give it a good chance for the microbes to break up those herbicides. My carrot heads are now poking out of the soil. Should I pull them out? You can pull some of it. With carrots, what I do is I just pull them as you need them. So pull them late, very late on in the evening. And if they're poking out the soil, top dress them. So add some more compost or some sand or something to the top and just keep them covered. Compost feeds the soil life and isn't there to feed the plants. People get it all wiring wrong with gardening. They say it should feed my plants. What they should ask is what can I feed the soil? This then feeds the plants as a byproduct. Yeah, Tony. See, this is one of the things where if you read Masanobu's writings, that the way he comes across when he talks about compost is he's talking about compost as something that was created or the use of it was really brought in or really pushed as a result of the movement towards organic farming, gardening, or organic farming, rather than the natural farming that the approach that he comes. Um, and I see the way people like Dr. Elaine Ingham talk about the soil food web and push that side of things. So I think there's a balance that needs to be struck between the two extremes, where you're not completely avoiding compost and any amendments, and but you're also see, I lost my trail of thought when Spider-Man came in then. So when you're not completely staying away from any soil amendments and things, but you are striking a balance between the two. Sasha's here. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming
Hi,
in.
Sasha, who came in ages ago. Wait, is this Tony?
Yeah, that's Tony. Well, planting in the compost pile would be a no dig garden. Drop. Do you see my hotbed video? See, that's just a huge compost pile. No, they need to be tall and push it. what that's an answer to, so I don't know. Uh, David Butlin, is Moeen Ali one of your best idols? Who's Moeen Ali? I don't know who Moeen Ali is, so I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Uh, Mary Two Doors Down has got a
Can you
pasture
get
and
merchandise?
they're
Right, just
about.
need the merchandise.
Um, your son reminds me of my grandson. Let's see. Let's catch up a bit. Uh, Stop! Don't scream.
Whoops, that was too loud.
Yeah, you'll blow people's eardrums out.
Sneaky,
Best
sneaky.
advice for new gardeners: grow
Remember
things that you
you said
actually enjoy eating.
What?
Um,
What?
I'm losing the. Dean. Forget you losing the plot. These guys are making me lose the plot every time they bounce on the bed. My hand. I can't see where I am. I only have compost. I have no other soil. Is that okay for plants? Chris, that's perfect for plants. Jamila Yang is here. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Where's my garden? My garden's at the back of my house. I'm in the UK. Yeah, Yorkshire. Uh, we've had the weirdest shaped carrots this year. They're all mutants.
Can someone ask me some questions? Or can I ask a question?
It's gonna lose now.
Hey, wait, I just want
It's
to ask
gonna
them a
completely
question.
lose.
Who's your favourite superhero?
We're gonna completely lose it now.
Are you sure why not?
So also using spent onion compost and potatoes. See, I also agree about feeding the plant. Uh, Also, as it can give it a boost. That's the crossover, Dean. I think between plant and fertilizers and soil amendments, because th- definitely I think early on when you want to try and get a plant to establish itself, and especially when you've got a short growing season, you want to give it as much of a boost as possible. So yeah, I do like using homemade. Well, I use my homemade fertilizer. So yeah.
Can you ask me some questions?
Right, come on, sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back.
Come here.
Um,
Who's your favourite?
I guess you don't like sports crickets then. Haha, he's an English Muslim cricketer. Right, okay. I like football. I'm not cricket's a little bit boring.
I don't know how to spell it.
Unless it's the World Cup or something, then I don't mind. Yeah, but otherwise cricket, I find it's a bit boring. Yeah, I plan on a market garden next year. I've been growing stuff that will sell, seeing how feasible it is to
No,
grow
it's
some.
not my bedtime.
It will be very shortly.
Spider-Man doesn't have a bedtime. A hero's work is never done.
A hero's work is never done.
What flavor does you?
See,
I don't know.
Elizabeth.
Eat candy, okay? Candy makes them hyper. What did he say?
Calm down, Dave. Remember, otherwise you're gonna.
Into
Dave,
the Spider-Verse.
go and see your mum.
No.
Go and see your mum. Go and see your mum.
I'm still here. Wait, who's your favorite superhero? Mine's Iron Man. Mine is me. I think it's Seth. Favorite superhero.
Why haven't you changed it?
It's not my bedtime.
Why do you have to stop?
It's not my bedtime, okay?
Are you listening?
Wait, just
Okay.
don't answer
Don't
my
worry.
question until I come back.
So Leslie's superheroes are Captain America.
Mine is Iron Man. I like Iron Man.
Khadija.
My name is Kid Arachnid.
Oh, Frank, how long are you Mooley at the moment?
My name is Kid Arachnid, okay?
Kid Arachnid. Okay.
I saw it on
sorry guys,
the
I've
Marvel.
lost.
I saw
if
it
I
on
lost
the Marvel
Okay.
HQ website.
Okay. If I lost a lot in the chat then, and I didn't reply to a lot of people, then
Bye.
It
I'll
ju-
be back later.
it's just because it went a little bit crazy. So I lost quite a bit of the chat. So I do apologise for that. Okay. Do you want to go? Yeah. Uh, See, Frank, we've got some white radishes planted, and they're coming on lovely at the moment. Yeah, they've come on. They've come on. They're coming on lovely at the moment. I'm quite happy with them.
Yeah, no, they
Um,
need to go in the washing machine.
and I planted some more. I planted some more radishes today. Planted some long red radishes, and I planted some. Dave,
For the room, yes.
and I planted some more white radishes. So I'll see how they get on. Um, Yashev, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Uh, uh, my radishes have all flowered. Um, are you gonna? It's still it's still not too late to plant some more. I'd still plant some more radishes to go into winter. One thing that I do with radishes is not just to. Normally, what I do is with radishes, I'd plant some to eat and some to rot. So because we tend to do a no dig garden, what I do is I let things like radishes do my digging for me. So I plant lots and lots of radishes over winter and let them rot in the ground. Um, no, behave now. Your mum's told you off once. No. Your mum's told you off once. So don't behave. So yeah, I'll leave some radishes in the ground to rot and feed the soil that way as well. Ismail Karoli is here. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in. Uh, Family is everything, no apology necessary. It just gets a bit crazy at times. Uh, I haven't done well with radish this year. Um, it's a good time to plant long radishes at the moment because they get off to that early start and it starts to cool down before as the plants getting established and getting ready to go into the normal point where it'd bolt because of the heat. How many years did you not dig? Have you constituted a great web on? You have constituted a great web under the ground where each plant, wherever it is, can get extra minerals from the place that it's not needed. Isabel, probably about 8 years. So no dig for about 8 years. But no, Terry King's not in the chat.
Oh,
Okay.
who's your favourite superhero?
So they've already said Captain America.
All of them.
So yeah, probably about 8 years no dig. Um, but I'm not a no dig Puritan. So I'm not someone who is completely opposed to no dig. Um, Opposed to digging completely. I think digging does have its place. So because even when you look at the
With
natural
Elizabeth.
environment, you'll see animals come in and burrow, and trees fall over, and they'll pull the roots up, and they'll dig the soil, turn it over in that way. So sometimes a little bit of disturbance can encourage plants to grow and encourage the soil life to flourish because what you do is you give chance for other things to grow as well. But because of the aminopyrrolide this year, I'll be stripping the mulch. Any mulch that isn't broken down, I'll be stripping that back and I'll be digging everything. Um, I'll be digging everything over this year. Um, Dean's laughing because he loves my stern dad voice. I've pulled a few out and there's no root radishes on them at all.
I can
Um,
scream so loud.
did you give them plenty of water? And if they're not working like that, have you thought about? It's a bit of a bit of hard work, but if you sieve the soil, if you grow them in long pots, sieve the soil, um, mix into your compost some sand, so the soil's nice and loose, and then plant a couple of seeds into a pot, and just let them fill that up rather than try and go into the ground. Sometimes the ground can be a bit hard and cause issues that way. Um, doesn't look like cooling down at any time soon here where I am in England. David, whereabouts are you? Um, Asim, I'm in Leicester, but planning for West Midlands. The location is in my wife's hands, as she find out next April where she will be working for the next decade. Okay, okay. Can you stop leaning on me?
Sorry.
Sit down nicely.
You got to go eat.
Okay,
No,
you
go.
gotta go eat. Go on, off you go.
It's too late already. Go.
Elizabeth said her favourite superhero is Thor. our one friend on board as well at the moment.
Huh?
Uh,
Who's your favorite
okay,
superhero?
You.
go
No,
on.
but I think the Marvel.
Yeah, you're marvelous. Now go
No,
on.
I'm not.
You're my
Think again about digging maximum 15 centimeter deep.
Alright.
See, Isabel. Yeah.
recommendation.
Uh, that's one of the things that I tend to do. Do you know, I like messing about with the mulch, and I like
Maybe
messing about
tomorrow going.
with the top couple of inches. But this year, I think I'm gonna go all out and just give it a good dig. I mean, one of the things that I am going to be doing where I discovered the allium white rot is we'll be adding lots of garlic juice, digging it over, adding lots of garlic juice, giving it a month to settle, and then digging it over, adding more garlic juice, and try and force those spores out, and see how we get in next year. My radishes started okay, but they aren't growing now. Stem's gone red, but no other development. My stems have gone red, but no. Are you growing them in the ground, Laura? Um, Rearranging my Nordics bed when empty. Okay, just check how long that herbicide works. Maybe not necessary. Isabel, you're right because the thing is, it's not in my soil at the moment. It's in a lot of my mulch. So what I'll be doing is I'll be stripping the top. I'll be stripping all my mulch off, and it the way aminopyrrolide can last is it can last for a couple of years. But one of the ways to cure your garden of aminopyrrolide is all the recommendations are to dig it and just really dig it in. Uh, yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm going to try for. But I mean, it will be just this. It will be just a one off time, and see what happens. The hubster says we're doing the same regarding digging. Oh, Patricia, you from aminopyrrolide as well, didn't you? I'm growing mint. I'm only growing mint successfully for other things. I'm always confused regarding pots and compost. What are you confused about? What do you mean pots and compost? What are you confused about? Tell us what you mean and what you want to grow, and we'll see if we can help. Since radishes mature within 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the type, I start succession planting every 2 3 weeks. I also let some mature for seeds to rot seeds to rot in the ground. See, yeah, drop. I'm the same. I like letting things like radishes rot in the ground. Can I use goat poop as compost and how? Goat poop is fantastic. It's a lot more. It's a lot less mild than things like horse manure. You can, with the because you can add it to the compost. Just layer it. Um, if you look at a video I did recently on composting tips and tricks, it shows you how you can add the horse manure into there. But the other thing about goat poo, because it's in that pelleted form naturally, you can just sprinkle that around your garden, and that's the way I'd use it. Unless you've got loads and loads. If you've got loads and loads, then I'd compost it. But otherwise, if you've got like a handful or so, I'd just sprinkle that directly onto the garden. To be honest with you, guided one is here. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Thank you very much for coming in, Sasha. Uh, what would be a good veg bean to start with? Some that doesn't need much maintenance that can't really fail. Something to start in about a month's time. To start in about a month's time. If you're in the UK, then it's going to be quite late to start beans. You could in September, October time, what you could do is you could start with broad beans and you could overwinter broad beans and then you'll have broad beans by next May. That's what I'll be doing. I mean, what I do with broad beans is I plant some as cover crops, and so I've never been a fan of broad beans, but this year I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I think that I think I'm turning my taste buds are turning, and I'm starting to get used to them. Yeah, I had broad beans for the first time this year, and I quite like them. But before that, we've always had them, in like the mixed veg packs, and I've never been a fan of them. But what I do in about September, October time is I plant loads of broad beans directly into the soil, and I'll overwinter them. Some I'll cut down and I'll let them rot into the soil, and some I'll let them go on and produce beans for us. Uh, do you ever go foraging? I like mushroom foraging. We Yeah, I've got into mushroom foraging quite a bit over the last year and a half. Um, Atomic Shrimp does some great foraging videos. Okay, I'll check that out. Atomic Shrimp. Monty sauce and mustards, those are biofumigants and will help kill off the white rot. That's a good tip. Thanks, Tony. Because normally I've got a mix. So I grow winter rye. I've got some overwintering mustards. So yeah, that's a good tip. That's a very good tip. So yeah, so if I mix some of the overwintering mustards that I've got with my radishes, that'll be that good, a very good idea. Thank you very much for that. Peter Fenterman is here. Thank you very much for coming in. Peter, I hope you're keeping safe and I hope you're keeping well. So, Peter's another one who works for the NHS who's on the front line at the minute. So, I really appreciate you coming in and everything that you're doing. Same with Ismail Karoli as well. He's working for the NHS as well. So, yeah, hats off to you guys. Okay, I see herbicide lasts for many years. You can't leave it while you were Isabel, it's my own mistake. It's absolutely my own mistake. I know better. I should have known better, and I didn't listen to my own advice. Um, it's so. This will kill Tony. This will kill off white rot. The biofumigants. I don't forage for mushrooms in the northwest. I might pick the wrong ones and start hallucinating. Um, they taste better. Um, that must be a reply to my broad bean comment. Um, See, Tony, do you know those? Because I remember broad beans from school, and they were minging. I'll tell you straight, they were absolutely minging. And I remember broad beans from, do you know, like the mixed vegetable packets. Um, and I wasn't a fan of them. Uh, so the only time that I'd grow broad beans was solely so I could grow the plant and chop them and use them as green manure. But this year we actually grew some, harvested them, and yeah, I quite like them. I quite like them. I'll be honest. They're a bit weirder than other kind of beans. They've got a funny smell to them, but I didn't mind them. Yeah, I could get used to them, I think. Are you talking about broad beans out of the shells? Much better. Yeah, Laura, they were out the shells and out the skins. Uh, can I grow broad beans in a flex tub? I don't know what a flex tub is. Does anyone know what a flex tub is? Sasha, around late September, October, you can start planting onion sets and garlic. Frank, yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, what I'm gonna do this year is I'm gonna go with onions. I'm gonna go a lot more intensive, growing onions from seed rather than from sets. So in about the next week or so, I'm gonna start planting some onion seeds that I'm gonna then transplant towards the end of Septemberish into the garden and overwinter them, because my onions from seed, I've been really impressed with them this year. Yeah, they're a good handful. I'm very happy with them. Uh, there's a whole group of plants that are biofumigants. Um, I'm exactly the same as you, Martin, with regards to bro. uh, can't stop. Fish with Bish is here. Can't stop. Out and about, but had to show my support and drop a like. Bish, thanks very much for coming in. I really appreciate that, bro. I hope you're keeping well. So if anyone likes fishing, there's a channel to go and say hello to, and he's funny as anything as well. Absolutely beautiful guy. Um, what grow zone are you in comparison to the US, United States grow zone? Um, I think it's about an eight-ish. Um, our summer's about an eight. Our winter's little bit lower. But I'm not a big one on grow zones. Yeah, so it's about an eight-ish, I think. Is a flexed up like a is a flexed up like a plastic trug. Uh, the big. Okay, so the big builders tubs that they mix cement in. Yeah, if you anything in see with garlic, onion, stuff like that, you don't need something massively deep. Something anything over 6 inches will be perfectly fine. So anything about 6 inches will be perfectly fine. Um, so yeah, but if you're gonna go for things with deep roots, then you want something deeper. So if you are gonna go for broad beans, a flexi tub will be perfect. Um, so Patricia's just dropped a super chat. Thank you very much for that. That's very kind. Thank you very much. Got about a dozen seed for you to play with. Uh, is that to me? Uh, got about a dozen. Hang on, I'll try that. And I'd seen articles where they spray garlic powder on a white rot affected area, leave it a year, apparently triggers white rot, but burns out as no host. See, that's the approach I'm taking, Peter, at the moment. So at the moment, what I'm doing is I've I pulled my onions, and where there was a lot of white rot, I've stripped off all the mulch and I've piled it into one corner, and I'm gonna let that rot down separately. And the other thing that I'm doing is I've squished up lots and lots of garlic, made some garlic juice, and I sprayed the whole bed, dug it over. And what I'll be doing again is towards the end of August, September, I'll give it another treatment. How do you keep your skin looking so smooth? What's your skincare routine? I just use baby oil. See, not only do you get gardening advice on this channel, some beauty treatments as well. So I use baby oil, lots and lots of baby oil, uh, and some cocoa butter. I have not. uh, see, Tim got a dash. Thanks for the chat. Tim, you take care, and I'll see you soon. Biofumigation is an approach to soil-borne pest and pathogen management that involves the use of plants primarily from the Brassicaceae family, i.e., mustards, cauliflower, and broccoli. Uh, ah, I use lard. What do you use lard for? What am I missing? I think I'm falling behind in the chat again. Let's see. So I've got a dozen onion seed for you. That's gonna be all right. Oh, you use lard for the skin. Okay, I'm with you. So yeah, yeah, cocoa butter's good. What's that? Yeah, cocoa butter. I really like cocoa butter. Coconut oil's good, and baby oil's good. They're the things that I've always used. Um, yeah, I like I like coconut oil on my beard. It gives it that shine. But it sometimes gets a little bit curly when I don't comb it or brush it properly. But there we go. Right, guys, we're a bit over that hour mark at the moment, and Tony's saying his skin doesn't need it. He's got a baby face, anyways. Tony, is he? Is he? Right, guys. I'm gonna. We're a bit past 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna call it a day there. If that's all right with everyone. Um, Thanks very much for coming in and spending some time with us. It's been a blast. It's been entertaining. Thank you very much to Patricia for that super chat. Appreciate it. Uh, Everyone have a good evening. Want to use this So muck baby oil, even his wallet's. Right. On that note, I'm gonna call it a night there. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.